From terminal diseases to inescapable drug addiction to dangerously obsessed fans, these are the tragic stories of reality stars who never made it to 30. There have been more than a handful of notable examples of overzealous fans and stalkers taking the lives of famous people. Sadly, this trend seems especially common among musicians, perhaps because of their significant level of interaction with fans at their concerts. And it was following a concert in Orlando, Florida, that The Voice contestant Christina Grimmie was killed. She was 22. While Grimmie's death was front-page news, it was somewhat overshadowed by the Pulse nightclub mass shooting, which happened only 2 days later and in the exact same city. Nevertheless, plenty of fans mourned the loss of Grimmie, who had a promising career ahead of her after finishing in 3rd place on Season 6 of The Voice. She was shot while signing autographs after a gig at the Plaza Live on June 10, 2016, and fans have returned to the site every year since to honor her memory. Grimmie's killer, Kevin James Loibl, fired at her as she went up to him for a hug. He was then tackled to the ground by her brother, but ultimately he turned the gun on himself and died before the police could arrive on the scene. Buck Wild was a short-lived MTV show that took place in a rural area of West Virginia. Airing for a couple months in 2013, the series was originally set to film a 2nd season, but that plan was derailed that April by the death of one of the show's stars, Shane Gandy. Gandy was only 21 years old when he was found dead in a vehicle alongside his uncle and a friend. Their accidental deaths were eventually determined to be the result of carbon monoxide poisoning. They were found in a Ford Bronco half covered in mud after going off-road driving, also known as mudding, which was a common activity on Buck Wild. A gas leak was caused by the muffler getting stuck under the mud's surface, leading to the poisoning. MTV then released a statement that read, "We are shocked and saddened by the terrible news about Shane Gandy and those involved in this tragic incident. Our main concern is for the Gandy family and their friends. Our thoughts and prayers are with them. Shane had a magnetic personality with a passion for life that touched everyone he met, and we will miss him dearly." Pedro Zamora's legacy cannot be understated. His time on the 3rd season of MTV's The Real World in 1994 marked the first time that someone diagnosed with HIV starred on reality TV. Since his time with his San Francisco housemates, few reality stars have matched his cultural impact.
My name is Pedro, and I live in Miami. I'm originally from Cuba.
Zamora's appearance led to many teachable moments for Americans, and also some memorable television. His conflict with his roommate David Puck Rainey was ranked number 7 on Time magazine's list of 32 epic moments in reality TV history in 2011, and even then President Bill Clinton was tuning in at the time. As Zamora once told Entertainment Tonight, MTV is pushing the limits by bringing in a gay person, and especially a person with AIDS, which is part of why I did it. That was part of the appeal for me. Even growing up, I never had anybody on TV like, oh, he's a gay man like me, I can relate to him. In November 1994, Zamora died from AIDS-related complications at the age of 22, just months after his time on The Real World. Willie Spence appeared on season 19 of American Idol in 2021, finishing in 2nd place behind Chase Beckham. Then in October 2022, he tragically died at the age of 23 after a car accident left him with fatal injuries. Fellow Idol alum Katharine McPhee wrote on her Instagram stories, "Life is so unfair and nothing is ever promised. God rest your soul, Willie. It was a pleasure to sing with you and to know you." Spence reportedly crashed into a tractor trailer after exiting a highway in Marion County, Tennessee. Sadly, this isn't the first time that a former Idol contestant has died in a car accident. Ricky Smith Jr., who made the top 12 way back in Season 2, died at age 36 in 2016. 2 years later, Season 3 finalist Leah LaBelle died at age 31, along with her husband, NBA player Rashul Butler, who lost control of their Range Rover while going over the speed limit. Upon Spence's passing, Idol's social media team tweeted, "We are devastated about the passing of our beloved American Idol family member, Willie Spence. He was a true talent who lit up every room he entered and will be deeply missed."
I'm a miss him. I'm a miss his voice around the house.
Joey Kovar rose to fame when he appeared on the 20th season of The Real World in 2008. He was a personal trainer with acting aspirations whose issues with substance misuse were documented on the show. He was missing from multiple episodes after entering a month-long treatment program, but his addiction's hold on him was ultimately too strong for Kovar to overcome. After his time on The Real World Hollywood, he appeared on Celebrity Rehab, but he relapsed shortly afterwards. On August 17, 2012, a friend found Kovar unresponsive, and he was pronounced dead upon the arrival of paramedics. He was only 29. Early reports noted Kovar's usage of ecstasy and cocaine, and some speculated that Viagra and alcohol may have also contributed to his death. but an autopsy ultimately revealed that opiate intoxication was the culprit. His brother David told People magazine, "Joe's final days were peaceful. He had become such a happy person. I had not once worried that he was using again. I'm still very unsure of what exactly happened. I try not to think about it because I feel like it will eat me alive if I do." Considering that the people featured on the TLC show My 600-Pound Life are typically in ill health, it's not surprising that a fair number of them have died at a young age. Sean Milliken, for one, was only 29 when he died. He was featured in one episode of Season 4 as well as a follow-up special 2 years later. When Milliken first appeared on My 600-Pound Life in 2016, he weighed in at over 900 pounds, though after weight loss surgery, he dropped more than 400. But even then, he was still dealing with many medical complications. He ultimately died in February 2019 from complications due to an infection. His father Matt revealed on Facebook he was having problems with his breathing. They were able to resuscitate him, and a short time later, his heart stopped. And TLC announced in a statement, "TLC is saddened to share that Sean Milliken has passed away and expresses its deepest sympathies to Sean's friends and family at this difficult time." House of Carters was a short-lived E! show about Backstreet Boy Nick Carter, his pop star brother Aaron, and their sisters BJ, Leslie, and Angel. Nick has been open about his struggles with drugs and alcohol, and Aaron appeared to be trying to get a handle on his own addiction. He did a stint in rehab in September 2022 before his death just 2 months later at the age of 34. Leslie tragically lost her life to substance misuse, which caused even more drama within the family when Nick performed a concert instead of going to her funeral.
None of us were listening to her. And all she was doing was asking for us to listen to her.
Leslie was only 25 years old at the time of her death in January 2012, which was attributed to an accidental overdose. Police reported that various drugs were found near her body, including some to treat mental health disorders. Even more heartbreaking, she left behind a daughter who was only 10 months old at the time of her death. Jade Goody's reality TV notoriety transcends borders, as she was a staple of the gossip magazines as well as a career D-lister. She first gained attention in 2002 when she appeared on the 3rd season of the UK version of Big Brother. She then made a few dance workout videos and appeared on just about every reality show she could book, including Wife Swap, Astounding Celebrities, Celebrity Driving School, and Back to Reality. She returned to her roots a few times by appearing on Big Brother Panto and Celebrity Big Brother, and she starred on her own shows like Jade Salon and Just Jade. Few people have been able to milk their reality careers the way that Goody did, but her story was unfortunately cut short when she was diagnosed with cervical cancer in 2008. A year later, she died at the age of 27, leaving behind 2 children. Though Goody was at times a controversial figure, many British politicians praised her for her cancer advocacy. David Cameron, the Conservative leader at the time, noted, "Her legacy will be to save the lives of more young women in the future. My thoughts are with her family and particularly her 2 young sons at this terrible time." Ben Watkins was only 14 years old when he died in 2020, a year and a half after being diagnosed with a rare cancer. He had angiomatoid fibrous histiocytoma, a soft tissue tumor that accounts for only 0.03% of soft tissue tumors. After his passing, his family wrote in a statement, "When Ben's rare illness was shared with the world, he was so heartened by the outpouring of love he received from every corner of the globe, especially here in his hometown of Gary, Indiana." Watkins was known for his appearance on the 6th season of MasterChef Junior, where he finished in 19th place. Though he didn't take the crown, he proved to be so charismatic that he was used in the marketing materials alongside the judges. Tragically, 3 years earlier, both of his parents died in a murder-suicide. As his grandmother and uncle wrote on the GoFundMe page for his memorial, "After losing both of his parents in September 2017, we have marveled at Ben's strength, courage, and love for life. He never ever complained. Ben was and will always be the strongest person we know."
We love you, Ben.
God bless and lots of love, buddy.
This hug is for you.
We love you, Ben!
The case of Mirjana Puhar is especially sad, considering that she was only 19 at the time that she was killed. In 2014, she was a contestant on Cycle 21 of America's Next Top Model. She was a Serbian refugee who came to America with her family in the hopes of a better life. While Top Model could have put her on the path to bigger and better things, her time was tragically cut short. In February 2015, Puhar was shot as she opened the door to a Charlotte, North Carolina apartment. The crime was reportedly a drug-related event that also left Puhar's boyfriend and his roommate dead. According to reports, the murders were part of a robbery, but police believed that 2 of the victims were drug dealers and that the home was used as a drug den. One of the killers was sentenced to life in prison, while another received 3 consecutive life sentences as he shot and killed a 4th person at a different time. 2 other people involved received lesser sentences. Top Chef Season 15 contestant Fatima Ali died in January 2019, but her legacy lives on. She dreamed of writing a book, and so her family made sure that her unfinished memoir, Savor: A Chef's Hunger for More, was published in October 2022. Before Ali's time on Top Chef, she also competed on Chopped, where she finished in 7th place and was voted fan favorite by viewers. Soon afterwards, she was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer called Ewing sarcoma. She underwent treatment and was declared cancer-free, but then it returned less than a year later. She died a few months after that, but not before documenting her entire journey on social media. Her brother Muhammad told Good Morning America in 2022, she found herself reflecting on her life and making a bucket list she hardly got the chance to go through. What will you be doing if you found yourself in her position? Anticipate those regrets and act now.
We bond with someone not only as a chef or contestant, but also as a friend, and then you see their journey and where they're at.
A disproportionate number of reality TV stars have died by suicide. Within the Bachelor franchise alone, there's been Julian Hug and Clint Arliss. Meanwhile, Gia Alamand's August 2013 death was all over the news for days as she clung to life in the hospital following her suicide attempt. Alamand was a dance instructor who appeared on the 14th season of The Bachelor in 2010. She subsequently appeared on multiple seasons of Bachelor Pad, which has since been replaced by Bachelor in Paradise. A New Orleans police report revealed that Alamand's suicide occurred after a fight with her boyfriend, NBA player Ryan Anderson. She believed he was cheating on her, and he reportedly said he no longer loved her. She was later put on life support at a nearby hospital, but she died a couple of days later at the age of 29. Bachelor creator Mike Fleiss said in a statement, "The entire Bachelor family is tremendously saddened by the tragic passing of our friend Gia. She was truly a sweet and generous soul. This is a devastating loss for anyone who ever knew her." There have been more than 30 seasons of The Real World since the show began in 1992, which means that there have been hundreds of cast members. And while some are doing quite well, others have endured rockier roads since their 15 minutes of fame ended. Ryan Knight is one of those who had a tough time once his time in the spotlight was over, and he sadly lost his life to drugs and alcohol in November 2014 at the age of 28. In 2010, Knight appeared on season 24 of The Real World, which was set in New Orleans. He was a hockey player from Wisconsin who was recovering from an addiction to painkillers after a painful injury left him unable to pursue a college scholarship. His addiction would go on to kill him 4 years later when he accidentally overdosed on a combination of alcohol and drugs, including painkillers and methadone. After his passing, his castmate Ashley Feldman posted on Instagram, "I slept in a room with Ryan Knight for 3 months and we laughed, yelled, cried, screamed, and then laughed again. He had the personality that could charm a rattlesnake. He had the personality that makes him unforgettable. Today, we lost a good one. I love you, Rumi." Simone Battle appeared in bit parts on TV shows such as Zoe 101 and Everybody Hates Chris. But she really gained national attention when she was a contestant on the first season of the American version of The X Factor in 2011. Though she didn't make it all the way, she was a standout competitor who advanced to the first week of live shows before being cut. Afterwards, she joined the girl group GRL.
We come together as GRL, so we're not focused on the eye. We share the spotlight. We share the lead in this.
Battle performed with GRL from 2012 until her death in 2014, and the group had been on an upswing thanks to a performance on Good Morning America and a Pitbull collaboration. But despite that professional success, Battle was struggling with her mental health. She was found dead at the age of 25 by her boyfriend after killing herself in her West Hollywood apartment on September 5, 2014. X Factor creator and judge Simon Cowell was among those who paid tribute as he tweeted, "I am so sad to hear about the news Simone Battle has passed away. She was such a fun, nice person. It's such a loss. Rest in peace, Simone." Accidental overdoses have unfortunately been a common cause of death among Bachelor franchise alums, including Michael Nance and Lex McAllister, who were both only 31. Tyler Gavusht was even younger when he met a similar fate. In 2019, Gavusht appeared on season 15 of The Bachelorette as he competed for Hannah Brown's hand. He died less than 1 year later in January 2020 at the age of 29. According to the autopsy, this was a result of opioid toxicity from heroin. Though he overdosed on January 13th, he didn't actually die until the 23rd. His girlfriend found him unconscious after he reportedly locked himself inside a bathroom in her Boca Raton, Florida apartment. Bachelor producers then announced in a statement, "We are heartbroken to hear the tragic news of Tyler's passing today. Our thoughts are with the Gavusht family and his friends." Anyone who watched the Anna Nicole show could sense that there was something troubling about the star's behavior and her family dynamics. Smith had long been in the public eye but was having somewhat of a resurgence with her show, which was at one time the E! Network's most watched program. The series lasted for 3 seasons, and Smith's teenage son, Daniel Wayne, made regular appearances. Both of their stories would eventually conclude in tragedy. For Daniel, his end would come when he was only 20 years old. In September 2006, Daniel was visiting his mother in Nassau, Bahamas, where she'd just given birth to her second child, Danny Lynn. A police official told the Associated Press that Daniel was in the hospital room with his mom when he died of an overdose. He appeared to be sleeping, and she attempted to wake him, but he was unresponsive. An autopsy later revealed that Daniel had a combination of drugs in his system that resulted in the accidental overdose. Anna Nicole sadly met a similar fate when she herself overdosed the following February.
Put your head up, Punky. Why are you laughing? Huh? You're nervous?
If it's hard for an adult to open themselves up to scrutiny by appearing on reality TV, then that is surely doubly so for a young child. And yet there is no shortage of shows that exploit children by watching them excel and fail, like Dance Moms and Toddlers and Tiaras. The latter is especially problematic, considering the emphasis it places on the appearances of very young children. But then again, this TLC show is simply documenting what the pageant scene has been doing for decades. We generally don't hear a lot about former Toddlers and Tiaras contestants, with the major exception being Honey Boo Boo. When we do hear about them, the reasons can be quite tragic. Kylie Posey, for one, appeared on the show when she was just 5 years old, and her excited face has made the rounds for years as a popular meme. After the show, she continued to do pageants and placed second runner-up for Miss Teen Washington. But sadly, in May 2022, she took her own life. She was only 16. Love Island is a British dating show that plenty of American viewers have fallen for ever since the US version of the series debuted in 2019. At least 2 contestants from the show have died by suicide since their appearances. Sophie Graydon was reportedly under the influence of drugs and alcohol when she took her own life in June 2018 at the age of 32. Mike Thalassides' story is equally devastating. He first appeared on Love Island in 2017 and then went on to star on Celebs Go Dating the following year. The former soccer player was found dead in a park on March 16, 2019. There was also a notebook filled with diaries and letters to his family. Thalassides was only 26 years old, and he reportedly had substances including cocaine and ethanol in his system at the time of his death.
It makes me so sad that he obviously just had so many demons that he went through on his own.
MTV's Laguna Beach, The Real Orange County was a massive hit that spawned the even bigger hit The Hills, which in turn led to even more spin-offs. One oft-forgotten spin-off of the original Laguna Beach was Newport Harbor, The Real Orange County. It aired only 12 episodes across 2 short seasons in 2007 and 2008. Clay Adler was one of Newport Harbor's 7 main cast members as he appeared on every single episode. A decade after his reality TV endeavor, he killed himself while on a trip, dying in the hospital on March 26, 2017 at the age of 27. While Adler was found to have no substances in his system at the time of his death, the police noted in their report that he did have a history of mental illness. His father, Frank, told People magazine that his son had been sober for years and confirmed that the cause of death was suicide. Many of Adler's organs were donated, with his father noting to People, "They kept him alive a little bit longer so that he could do the donations we're talking about. The hospital did say that he's donated more than they've ever seen because his internals were in phenomenal shape." MTV's matchmaking series Are You the One debuted in 2014, and it is still going strong. Its 9th season began airing in January 2023. The show requires single male and female contestants to live together while they simultaneously try to figure out who the producers and their matchmaking algorithm have labeled as their perfect match. In 2017, Alexis Eddy was a contestant on Season 6, which was filmed in New Orleans. Originally from West Virginia, she was barely out of her teens when she appeared on the show. 2 years later, at the age of 23, Eddy died after paramedics were called to her home when she went into cardiac arrest. She'd been vocal about her struggles with sobriety, though she'd seemingly been living a sober life around the time of her death, or so her social media appeared to indicate. Her grandmother, Carol, however, told Radar Online that a drug overdose is what led to the cardiac event. She also said, "Those shows mess up kids."
Like, have your day, do your thing, I'm gonna do mine.
There are so many cooking competition shows nowadays that it can be hard to keep them all straight. And sadly, those shows have all experienced their fair share of loss. MasterChef alum Joshua Marks was only 26 when he took his own life in October 2013. A statement released on behalf of the show read, "He was a wonderful person and an incredible talent. Our hearts and prayers go out to his family and friends." Just 1 year earlier, Marks appeared on Season 3 of MasterChef, where he finished in second place. His family and lawyer revealed that he had multiple mental health diagnoses, including bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. His mother, Paulette Mitchell, told CNN, "Joshua was so kind, so gentle. He loved life. He loved people. He would never hurt anyone, never. He was just a gentle, sweet soul, but he hurt himself. That breaks my heart that he hurt himself." Mitchell also said that Mark's mental health issues only became apparent after his time on TV, which led to what his lawyer described as a mental break the summer before his death. If you or anyone you know is having suicidal thoughts, please call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by dialing 988 or by calling 1-800-273-TALK 8255.